Over the past 2 weeks, I've gone through 25 of ARK's most popular modded maps in hopes of answering one simple question. What's the best modded map in ARK? In this video, I'll showcase my 10 favorite modded maps in the game currently, and showcase some of my favorite features about every single one. I'll also cover basic info like cost, console compatibility, and we'll give CurseForce links to all of these modded maps down below in the description. There's more to every map than I'm showing in this video, but going into insane detail on anything here would take hours. Without further ado, let's get into my list. At number 10, I have Reverence. Reverence is a map that has both a free and premium version. The premium version costs $5, which is cheaper than the average of $10 that most of these ARK premium maps cost. Reverence's free version is 43% complete, and the premium version is 66% complete. Both of these versions are highly playable and have a lot of endgame content to explore. The map is also huge, as it's more than 50% bigger than the island, and the graphics are definitely impressive for the completion percent that the map is currently at. Most of Reverence's biomes are just classic biomes that you know from every other map in the game, but there's a few unique areas like the underground dome biomes which are extremely cool, and there's tons of caves to explore as well. The classic biomes flow together well, and they're fairly detailed already even though the development is not entirely done for these areas yet. Reverence is a really cool map. It has an ancient civilization theme to it, and even though the map isn't fully complete yet, the aesthetic of it so far looks great for the most part. My favorite part of this map isn't the aesthetic though, it's the endgame content which really shines. This map has 7 unique artifact caves, 3 custom bosses, a fantastic underworld that spans 1/4 of the map, and 16 total caves to explore. There's so much content here considering it's 66% complete, so I have no reason to tell you that it's not worth $5 just to try it out. I think it's a really cool map and there's a lot more potential than what's even been shown so far, so I'm very excited to see if this rises further up the ranks as the years go on. At number 9, I have Norandil. Norandil is both the free and premium version, with the premium version costing $10. The map is currently 75% complete, and it's one of the biggest maps in the entirety of ARK. It's one of the 3 fantasy themed maps on this list, but all of them are pretty cool. This is my least favorite out of the 3 on the list, but they're all really good. There's a huge amount of biome variety on this massive map, and on screen now you can see the progress of every biome the map has in store. This list also shows you which parts of the map are premium exclusive and which ones are free for everybody. All the map specific biomes like the coral and the floating islands look absolutely incredible, and the classic biomes are, for the most part, well detailed and fairly playable as well. Norandil has a couple of features that I really enjoy, but the aesthetic and scale is by far what I like the most. It feels like there's so much to discover because of the map's sheer size, and it's also incredibly fun to play on just because of how many amazing base locations and places to discover there are on the map. With that being said, there's definitely some flaws here. The issues I have are that some of the map feels empty still. I'm not a huge fan of the lack of challenging endgame content, and the map could really use some more difficult artifact caves specifically. This map is good for sure, but since it's only 75% complete and lacks enough challenging content for me to really love it, I wouldn't buy it just yet because I think there's better modded maps out there at the exact same price tag of $10. At number 8, I have Arkopolis. Arkopolis is free, available on multiple platforms, and is a complete map. Arkopolis is another really aesthetic map, and it has a lot of variety in terms of biomes. It has a variety of classic biomes consisting of beaches, oceans, jungles, swamps, redwoods, and snow-covered mountains, and it also has some unique biomes called Spicy Earth, Extinct Lands, and Aberrant Abyss. The Extinct Land is basically a mosh pit of every DLC creature you can think of, but the rest of the map has really balanced spawn balancing. Arkopolis features world bosses as its final test, so there's definitely a little bit left to be desired in terms of content on the map, but even though the endgame content leaves a little bit to be desired, I think the map is one of the best aesthetic maps ever, and the biome and creature variety makes it very fun to play. The main reason I don't have this map much higher is that I just value the endgame content a lot more than the average player, but if there was more endgame content, this would be in the top 5 for sure. The developer has stated that he's no longer working on the free version of the map and hasn't announced anything to my knowledge about releasing a premium version, so if this is all we're getting, then it's never really going to move much higher than this. Another issue too is that if he does end up adding late game content and it's only exclusive to the premium version, that's also pretty lame because I don't like when premium versions put paywalls on the endgame. With all that being said, it's absolutely one of the best free to play maps in the entirety of ARK, so I'd definitely check it out if you're not looking to spend money. At number 7, I have Atlantis. Atlantis is a premium map that costs $10, and there's no free version of this map. This is a huge downside because players can't try out the map and see if they like it before buying, so it lost Atlantis some points on my ranking. It's available cross-platform and is fully complete. Atlantis is a map that's entirely underwater, with air bubbles scattered around in the form of caves and just general living areas. These underwater bubbles are where you start out and get situated, and are pretty similar throughout the map. There's different bubbles for different DLC and regular resources, and underwater farming is encouraged on this map. The underwater bubbles are meant to serve as different land biomes inside of them just to give the map more diversity, but they're not distinct enough in my opinion for me to even qualify them as different biomes. Basically, I'm trying to say that biome diversity is definitely lacking. The reason for me putting the map in the top 10 is because of how unique it is. The concept of being underwater makes the map challenging because you really have to work for all the progression you get. The aesthetic of the map is also really unique and detailed, and it cements this map as a one-of-a-kind experience. There's a good amount of late game content as well, with the Sharky mini boss and a lot of caves that can be farmed for blueprints and resources. The map also has two main bosses, which are the Dark Golem and the Demonic Dreadmare. I do wish there was a tough underwater boss, but these boss fights are at least unique and challenging. My main critiques for this map are two things. The main issue I have is the lack of biome variety. Even though there's a lot of bubbles that offer different mini biomes inside, it just isn't enough in my opinion because almost the entire map is just one giant ocean, so you really need the biome variety in these small bubbles. This map could also definitely use more land. I know the point is to be an underwater map, but more terrestrial caves and larger and more plentiful land masses to build on would have been a big upgrade here in my opinion. The map is worth it if you love the underwater portion of ARK, and if you don't, do not buy Atlantis. At number 6, I have Althemia. Althemia has both a free and premium version, and the premium version costs 10 bucks. The map is about 90% complete in the premium version, and it's definitely playable even though there's still more content they plan to add. The free version is also very playable, so if you want to try out the map, I would recommend doing so in the free version before buying the $10 premium version. The biomes on Althemia are incredibly unique and follow a fantasy theme. The map also has some really cool caves to run through, and it's just insanely unique. You can see it in the background video. There's just so much to explore here, and it's completely different from anything you've ever seen before. The map is really incredible aesthetically and has a lot of content to go through. There's 6 really strong mini bosses, the Island Guardians, and tons of caves. Althemia is also home to a lot of unique resource harvesting options. It has its own lore, which is really cool, and contains most of ARK Ascended's current cast of creatures. Another positive is that more content like more caves, one last biome, and custom weapons are coming in the future. This map really stands out because of how unique it is, but there are a few flaws that I need to mention here. Firstly, there's some serious glitches, bugs, and balancing issues on this map considering the premium price tag. I also think this map's free version gives a very similar experience to the premium option, so while I do enjoy this map, I don't think it's the best bang for your buck on this list. It's been significantly improving over time, and a lot of game-breaking bugs have been removed, but I still think there's work to be done on this map before it's worth the purchase. At number 5, I have Temptress Lagoon. Temptress Lagoon has a free and premium version, and the premium version costs $5. It offers more caves and endgame content than the free version, but both are still playable. They're also both available on multiple platforms, and the map is fairly large in size as well. Temptress Lagoon is divided into a ton of different areas, but the map does all feel extremely connected. It has the tropical tide pools, jungle, enchanted woods, bog of whispers, snow, desert, Ember Ridge Plateau, mountains, and Dragon Rock. Surprisingly, with all those cool biomes I just mentioned, my favorite thing on Temptress Lagoon is actually the mountains and how they're designed. The level of detail that was put into this area alone is just really impressive, and I wish more mountains in the game looked like this. My only issue with the biomes in Temptress Lagoon is that I wish they were a little bit more diverse. They do feel pretty consistent throughout the map, which I'm not a huge fan of. I wish there was a little bit more distinction between the biomes. I definitely appreciate that the map is pretty seamless to travel through and it feels like it's all connected, but I just do wish there was a little bit more distinction. This map has other amazing features as well. It has similar world event mechanics to how Scorched Earth does with the weather events, but it's far more unique and dangerous than Scorched Earth's version. Temptress Lagoon's premium version also has enchanted variants for 25 creatures which give boosted stats, and they're pretty cool. The map also contains a unique crab boss that has 5 difficulty tiers, unique boss arenas for 3 regular bosses, and has a huge basilisk cave with rotating artifact drops. One thing I don't love about this map is the Genesis teleportation system. I always dislike this system in whatever map it's a part of, just because I just think it takes away from the immersion. I think the teleporter is a really strong item, the tech teleporter, so when you unlock it in the late game, that's when you get perks like this Gem 1 teleportation system. It's just way too overpowered to have through the entirety of a playthrough. This map definitely has enough content to be worth $5, as it offers a ton of DLC creatures and unique endgame content in the form of a new boss and some caves. I do wish the map was a little bit tougher, there was more cave variety, and that the Gem 1 teleportation system wasn't here, but the map is very solid regardless. At number 4, I have Insuluna. Insuluna is a free-to-play modded map that's available across multiple platforms. It's about 75% complete so far, and is intended to be about 50% larger than the island when it's fully done. There's a lot of biome diversity on Insuluna, and it's one of my favorite things about the map. On screen now you can see every biome that Insuluna currently offers. Insuluna is also very well optimized, especially for a free map. It gives off a really nostalgic ARK vibe. When I tested the map and flew around for the video, I couldn't shake the feeling that it was close to how OG ARK was, and I really enjoyed it. My current gripe with the map is that it's objectively pretty easy. There's numerous spawn areas that are very safe to start out, which isn't necessarily bad in itself, but it also is pretty easy in the endgame. Insuluna has been developed insanely well over the past year, as it was only 20% done just a year back, and the map has been playable with artifact caves and the Island Guardians as endgame content for a while now. The map really focuses on caves as well. There's massive buildable caves, 6 artifact caves on the map, and so much more variety besides what I'm talking about in this video. I'd love for this map to fix the current spawn balancing issues. There's a couple of creatures that spawn in way too frequently from what I've seen, but I love the map and I can't wait to see how it is when it's fully done. At number 3, I have Amissa. The base map of Amissa is free and offers so much content value for a free map. It's cross-platform compatible and contains add-on mods for extra structures and cosmetics, with some of these mods being add-ons and some of them being premium. The map is 85% complete as of me making this video, and the development has been incredibly fast so far. The map is slightly larger than the island for context. The map has 6 main biomes: the snow, desert, redwood, swamp, regular jungle, and red jungle. It also has an ocean, but it's not fully fleshed out yet, so I'm not really including it here. The red jungle is by far my favorite biome on this map. The design is incredible and it's the only real unique biome the map has. I also feel like it fits the fantasy theme the map is going for really well. The map is already equipped with custom boss arenas for the Island Guardians. It's added a ton of cool artifact caves, including one that's inside of the pyramid, which is just insanely awesome, and the development team is moving very quickly on it. Around this time last year, the map was only 30% complete, and now it's almost fully done. Some additional content that Amissa offers includes custom wyvern variants that have completely new designs, as well as new mechanics like a griffin-style glide, an exotic variant for the RG called the Macaw Urgentavis, and a custom battle music, which is really cool. This map just has a lot of attention to detail and feels very balanced, so I'm a huge fan of it. The main features that are planned in the last 15% of development are more fleshed out resource spawns, more buildings and ruins, added caves and dungeons for more underground exploration and building, and improvements to the underwater portion of the map. These changes are really good selections, because my only 2 gripes with this map currently are the low resource spawns for specific resource types and the empty feel that the ocean has. The map is definitely worth a shot if you haven't tried it already, especially because of the free price tag. At number 2, I have Forgler. Forgler costs $10 with cross-platform compatibility, and there's a free version as well that contains about 70% of the map's content. I would recommend trying out the free version first because it gives you a really good feel for the map before buying the premium version. Forgler has a huge amount of beautiful and diverse biomes. It has a classic jungle, swamp, redwood, snow, desert, lava, and ocean biome, as well as a couple of unique areas. The map-specific biomes include the Crystal Beaches, Kaido Island, which is basically this map's Carno Island, and an aberration-style underground area. Also, they have the Fantasy Land biome, which is also cool. All of these biomes are fleshed out extremely thoroughly, and the map is fairly well optimized because it's still receiving optimization updates to this day. The map is in the ballpark of the size of Ragnarok, so it's pretty big, and the premium version also includes almost every creature that's in ARK Ascended so far, so there's a lot of content here. The map is filled with pre-built structures like ruins, temples, and villages that can be used as base locations and makes the map look amazing. The map also has plenty of different artifact caves that are challenging, as well as other caves like a bee cave with harvestable beehives just like Astraeus has. The 3 Island Guardians have new arena designs as well, and the map comes with mini bosses. The 3 mini bosses are a rock golem boss, a spino boss, and a giga boss. These bosses require certain artifacts and tributes to summon just like the main bosses, and there's mini boss terminals that let you fight these things once you're at least level 55. The mini bosses drop 50 element as a reward, so they're a great way to get element if you aren't ready for the Guardian fights yet. This map also has custom resource mechanics, including lava trees that provide electronics, eggs in the snowy areas that offer organic polymer, and some other visual changes that are a bit more niche. Forgler is very intricate in its design, it's fun to play, and in my opinion, I think this should have been added to the official map pool instead of Astraeus. At number 1, I have Svartalfheim. There's a free version of this map and a $10 premium version. The map is 100% complete with a caveat of it having a few bugs. It's available on all consoles. The free version of the map has about 60% of the content, but it's still definitely playable. Svartalfheim has snow, redwood, grasslands, forest, lava, ocean, swamp, and an underground biome. The map has a dwarven theme, and the aesthetic everywhere is really impressive and detailed. It's about 75% of the size of the island. The best feature of this map is the difficulty of it. The map doesn't allow for flyers, disables the use of cryopods and caves, and has tough caves and boss fights in store. It has the Island Guardians, the Overseer, and Tech Cave, and it also has a custom boss named Thordour's Bane that requires map-specific items from Berserk creatures to be summoned. Berserk creatures on Svartalfheim act as astral creatures from Astraeus, or basically alpha creatures with better drops. The map is also very polished, similar to Nakatis' other maps. Svartalfheim also comes with multiple custom cosmetic sets, Jormungandr the World Serpent flying around the map, and new resources like gold and mithril that can be harvested and used, with pre-built dwarven forges and NPCs scattered around the map to make everything feel more connected. There's just so much going on in Svartalfheim, it's very well optimized for my experience, and I think it's absolutely worth the $10 price tag. Well, that's my list. If you're curious about the 15 modded maps that didn't make my top 10, or just more information about the 10 that are in this video, check out my Discord server in the ARK Resources chat. I have links to every single modded map that made the video, as well as a breakdown of some of the maps that didn't make the cut that I thought were still cool or had a lot of potential. If you want some cool modded creatures to pair with these new modded maps that you're trying out, check out my top 20 modded creatures video linked on screen now. See you there. Peace!